Joining me now to discuss my open and more is President Trump's attorney and former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, it's good to see you again. Thanks for being here on Justice. Okay, so let's hit it. You just wrote an article this week arguing that the Supreme Court can block this impeachment and the entire Senate trial, I should say, by declaring the impeachment unconstitutional.
Yes.
How do you do that? Explain.
Well, the general theory is, of course, that impeachment is in the hands of the House.
Right.
With unlimited power. Wrong. No such thing as unlimited power on the Constitution.
Okay.
Every constitutional power has limits. So what are the limits of impeachment? It's written right in Article 2, Section 4. It has to be treason, bribery, high crime, misdemeanor, abuse of power, and the other ridiculous obstruction of Congress. You can't find it anywhere in 18 U.S.C. You can't find it under common law. You can't find it in Lithuanian law. It doesn't exist as crimes. So they have rendered the Constitution of the United States and its words meaningless. It's as if they took the Constitution and struck out the words.
Well, let me ask you this, then. What is the remedy? It's like indicting for a non-crime.
The remedy is to go before the Supreme Court of the United States and have it declared unconstitutional. Now, you say, well, there's nothing in the Constitution that allows the Supreme Court to do it. There's also nothing in the Constitution, as you know from early days of constitutional law, that allows the Supreme Court to declare a law of Congress unconstitutional. Marshall made it up. Marshall didn't make it up. Marshall saw it as a necessary, almost obvious suggestion from the clash between the two branches of government. It was necessary to keep government working. Well, the same thing is true here. We have a clash between two branches of government. They are impeaching him for a non-crime, high crime, misdemeanor, low crime, small crime. He's saying you can't do that. Okay. If they are allowed to do the latter, and they can, the former rather, and they can impeach for anything, instead of having 230 years of history with two impeachments, we're going to have an impeachment every month. They'll impeach him when the next time he runs.
There's no question that
there's no limit on their impeachment power.
That the precedent is established. As long as you have the votes, you can impeach the guy because you don't like the color of his tie. Well, as long as you've got a partisan vote. I agree, but what is the mechanism? How do you do it? And how do you say that maybe obstruction isn't a misdemeanor or a...
There are also no rules for a trial in the Supreme Court. All it says is, in the Senate, it says, there shall be a trial in the United States Senate. Chief Justice presides. What happens at the beginning of the trial very often? The defense lawyer stands up and says, Your Honor, I move for the dismissal of the indictment because it fails to state a crime. Suppose somebody charged me with not looking nice tonight and brought me on trial before the New York Supreme Court. Well, I don't look nice tonight, but I'd move to have the case dismissed.
Well, can they do that with Mitch McConnell? You know, can the president's lawyer...
Mitch sets the rules. The rules should say that this will be governed as if it were a trial in the United States District Court under the rules of the United States District Court.
And the Supreme Court is not the arbiter.
Including the evidentiary. The rules are set by the Senate.
Right.
Then the Chief Justice interprets the rules.
Okay.
The Chief Justice will be given the power to dismiss. The Chief Justice, it will be dealt like a trial.
At what point does the Chief Justice come in and respond to a motion to dismiss?
At the very beginning of the trial, you would stand. If you had a case with a null indictment, an indictment for a non-crime, an indictment for eating ice cream, you would say, Your Honor, this is an indictment by a grand jury. It purports to be voted by the grand jury and signed by a judge. They must have been insane when they did it because it's not a crime. I move to dismiss the indictment. The judge looks at it and says, Counselor, you're correct. Case dismissed.
Yeah, I used to do that. Now, what then happens?
Why is that important? That's important because it'll never happen again.
Exactly.
The problem here is if we do go to trial, and he'll get acquitted, and they'll make fools out of themselves. I could even argue that politically it would be better to go to trial. They'll find out about Biden. They'll find out what a big crook Biden is. They'll find out that Biden just didn't make money in Iran, but he made money in China, and he made money in Iraq. Everywhere. Point man Biden. Money Biden.
And then the whistleblower
I have
and
his
chart. Connections.
Make him point man, millions of dollars for the Biden crime family. Point man, Biden crime family, cash.
I got to move on, but let me ask you this. Let's assume that your your request is granted and it is dismissed.
It's very
What is
bold.
the effect? It makes sense. What is the effect of the impeachment in the House? Can that ever be erased, or is that always there?
Well, then it becomes the only impeachment that's ever been dismissed for being non-constitutional. And I would say if it's non-constitutional, it's null and void.
Right, right.
You know, it's like it shouldn't have happened. It was totally illegal.
So that should be null and void as well.
But if they let it happen, the next group of maybe crazy Republicans are going to go after some Democrat.
No question.
Just, you know.
No
and you
question.
know they like to get even.
Okay.
It's not right, but they like to get even in Washington.
I got to move along because I really want to hear your opinion on. There is fury in Iran tonight as the Iranian people are hitting the streets.
Isn't that wonderful to see?
Yeah, well, look, Khamenei, the Ayatollah, lied about the fact that they said that was an incoming missile that they bombed when it was a civilian Ukraine jet with 176 civilians on it. Okay, so now the Iranians are in the streets.
Fabulous.
They were in the streets in November.
Fabulous.
And the IRG killed the Iranian rebels, killed 1,500
And it didn't keep them out of the streets, did it?
No.
What is it telling you? It's telling you that the desire for freedom in Iran is palpable. It's strong. I've known this for 4 years. Maria and I were in Albania. Remember, we told you all about it. I brought pictures back of the people that work with the Iranian dissident groups who have brought a lot of this about. These protests have been going on for 2.5 or 3 years. They've happened in 278 cities in Iran. People have been killed, and more people come back and protest. Nurses have protested. Sanitation workers have protested. Iran is on the brink of being overthrown. If our State Department would wake up.
And do what? Wake up. And do what? We're running out of time. Do what?
A statement should be made about those people in the street. Like
We've
Ronald
already
Reagan
indicated that we support them.
It should be made very strongly by the president.
Right.
And it should go right down into the State Department that we support them, rather than the State Department being worried about talking to Iranian dissident groups.
Oh, they're so wrong about that. I would think, and I would think that if it does go down, you can thank President Trump because he broke them economically, and they're going to collapse from within.
We got one or two ways of going here. We can go with Obama when they had the protests in Iran and he turned his back on it. Or we can go with Ronald Reagan when he saw Poland and he said, he didn't say it mildly, he said, I stand with you.
Got it. Mayor Giuliani, thanks so much for being with us on Justice. Love having you.